Just beyond the far West Texas town of El Paso is the La Union Ranch. It's 48,000 acres in the Badlands of New Mexico. And for 3 days, we'll be driving cattle across it on horseback.
It's day one of the cattle drive.
And this is going to be my longest horse ride ever.
Of all time.
And I walk off to the side.
Peter is in good hands.
How do you go? Now put your hands down.
Because we are all under the direction
That's okay.
of horse trainer Josh Armstrong.
The two things that I try to do is I try to be sure everybody gets to ride as much as they want and be sure nobody has to ride more than they want to. That's not always possible, but that's the two goals that I'm trying to accomplish.
Peter, have you met your horse yet?
Not yet, but Georgia warmed it up for me.
So this is Georgia. Georgia, who is Peter gonna ride today?
Peter is gonna ride Dulce.
Ooh, is Dulce a good horse?
Dulce sounds sweet, so that's a good sign.
So we're trailering all the horses to where the cows are, and then we're gonna start the cattle drive from there. It's gonna be good. Yay, cattle drive. We've gotten our horses, and I get to ride Rankin.
And Peter was quick to mount Dulce.
He's on a horse. Cattle drive is just about to officially start. A fellow horsewoman named Carol let me borrow her sunglasses. I have realized that in the desert, sunglasses are for the sun, but they're also for the sand.
Sunglasses or not, it didn't take long to see that the desert is not necessarily flat.
Right, we started down what we call off of the escarpment, down in the valley. And we drove the cattle. We found a break in the escarpment, so basically a cliff. And the cattle don't want to go up it, and I don't want to go up it. But we found a break in it where there was a road, so we pushed the cattle around the end of that escarpment and up the road. Once we got up the road, then it was more flat. And well, basically the cattle, they go towards one another and they go away from other beings.
All right, we're gonna try to take them straight towards Mario.
And so they're naturally scared of a man on horseback. So we position ourselves as if we were fence posts and create a virtual fence to hold the cattle in one group. And so when we're moving them, we can work with them a little bit on where exactly they go as long as they end up at our goal. But it's pretty critical that we keep them together. And so we try to basically surround them and just create a moving corral and just move that corral across the range.
So what do you think of driving cattle so far?
I like it.
Yeah? Is it so calming?
It is.
And I think there's a lot of benefits to learning how to communicate with horses and cattle that people who even aren't going to do it on a daily basis, they're still going to be able to use some of those concepts in their relationships with human beings.
Let's talk about horses. I learned to ride from you when I was, 8 years old, and rode every single day competitively and was just obsessed with it and loved it. So getting on the horses out here that you've provided, they're such good horses. Would you tell me a little bit about your expertise and what you bring to the table?
Well, I've trained reining horses for my whole life, and a lot of these horses are horses that my dad's bred and raised. They're some of the best horses in the world. They've got the kind of mind to work with you, the kind of athleticism.
Could you tell me a little bit about the horse that I was on?
Rankin's Reminick, that's my dad's horse. And he's a horse that I trained as a 2- and 3-year-old and showed in the reining futurity. He was been in the top 10 in the nation several times. He's a good horse. We get a lot of use out of him in showing him and using him on the ranch and using him with guests.
So how's your real life riding lesson?
It's going well.
Peter has had a wonderful time. This is the longest he's ever been on a horse, which is more than 2 hours.
You told me we were going on a cattle drive, and I was just like, all right.
Because I didn't necessarily ask you.
I think you've been waiting for this opportunity a long time.
In your professional opinion, how did he do?
He came in on the same side he went out on, so I'd call that a success.
You kind of get used to it, but then once you get off the horse, everything kind of feels a little jelly.
No, he's very game and follows instructions well. So yeah, we're glad he's here.
I had a lot of fun. You kind of helped push me out of my comfort zone a little bit to try something new, and I'm glad you did.
I'm not in trouble anymore?
No, you're not in trouble.
Some good looking braid. Josh, are you the designated hair person?
It depends on what mood she's in.
I should not be surprised that your children are outstanding horsemen and horsewomen. What's it like for you seeing them out here just doing so well.
Yeah, it's a special blessing to have your kids interested in the same thing you're interested in.
Ed, how long have you been riding horses?
Ever since I was 1 or 2.
And how old are you now?
8, about to turn 9.
All right.
Can you put that on?
Can I give you a leg? My kids have some interest that I really don't share, but other than by the fact that they are interested in them. Uno, dos, boom. But the horses and cattle, all 3 of my kids enjoy them, and that's probably the most fulfilling part of it for me.
The horse that I've been riding, his name's Gringo. He's a nice horse. He's a nice roping pony. He likes to run a lot. He's a fast horse.
I mean, it was really helpful for me because they were so comfortable. Everyone's so comfortable that it's like, I can look around and say, okay, everything's under control. Like, just put me at ease a lot. And realizing I grew up a very different way, it's second nature to them. So I was watching them the most, probably trying to pick up on little tips and stuff and what they were up to.
Day 1 is just about done. Josh, how did we do?
Well, I think we may have left one out there, but I think we got here with 95% of the herd.
Success in my book. We made it. And that one missing cow made it too. She wandered in later that night on her own. Didn't even need our help. We, however, did need help. We just got back to camp and our tent is not in the same shape as it was this morning. The wind was a bit of a factor. Better?
Trusty Coleman hasn't let us down yet.
Come on, Coleman. Now we get to hang out and enjoy the campsite.
Oh, we're coming there, Chief. About ready?
At an Armstrong cattle drive, each meal is a feast. Your burger game looks strong. Prepared by Josh's wife, Linda, and his parents, Rusty and Dr. Joe Armstrong.
We're gonna make biscuits here in a few minutes.
Good morning.
Hello, Miss Georgia. What we'll do, we'll get the biscuits mixed up, and then we'll put them in the Dutch oven. Rusty, does this look about the right thickness for that?
Dr. Armstrong, how important is Rusty in the success of all you do?
Rusty is my success. Without her, none of us would be here. There's no telling where I would be. She is my rock and my love. She's stuck with me through thick and thin for a long time.
The work starts well before sunup with cowboy coffee.
Well, cowboy coffee is just what it is. It's not like you get at Starbucks or other places like that.
The secret ingredients are water, fire, and Folgers.
But basically what we do is we get the pot boiling and put the coffee in it and let it boil a little while and set it off and let the ground settle as much as they can. And then we drink the real coffee. So you may have to use your teeth to filter it all out, but it works good. It still sure tastes good.
It was my favorite menu item. And it was also followed by my favorite meal, breakfast.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, my parents offered to feed everybody, and they have a lot of experience at feeding groups of people, and my dad has a lot of experience at cooking in the wilderness.
These are panniers that you can use when you're packing with horses, and you can keep all of your essentials in here. You just put that on your pack horse and away you go. Try to keep it where it doesn't rattle too much. If you get the horses too scared, you're in big trouble. Okay, these are our Dutch ovens that we cook the biscuits in. You can see there, it looks pretty good.
I think that's a big part of it. I know I'm happier when I'm well fed.
Okay, I want everybody who would like to crack eggs to come grab eggs and crack them on the grill, and then we'll stir them up.
Do you think that food tastes better when you're out in the desert?
It sure seems to. My kids, they always talk about things that Papa Joe has cooked in the wilderness.
Rusty, we're ready, dear. That's the New Mexico special green chili. Now get what you want, but not more than you need.
There was a guy that was trick roping and I wanted to be able to do it. It's kind of hard.
Here's an old cowboy song.
the nightlife here on a cattle drive is as much fun as the daytime life. Tell me what it is like here once the sun kind of starts going down.
We really feel like we're the only people on earth out here. We do have a train depot a few miles away, and we can see the lights from that. And we can see the glow of the city of El Paso, but we really feel remote, and I think it helps people kind of come together a little bit more.
You picked a fine time to leave me loose.
My favorite part of the cattle drive, I mean, I've loved the horse part and being close to the cattle and everyone that we've met, but I've really loved just sitting around the campfire talking to a man that I have respected since I was tiny, and that's Dr. Armstrong. What do you think people can gain from spending time outdoors sitting on a horse for a couple days?
Well, one, it's so much easier to see what's around you when you're on a horse than when you're walking on foot and you're having to watch where you're going. So you see nature from a whole different perspective. And then you realize that that horse is taking care of you. And you've got to take care of him in order that he can take care of you properly. And so you just get to experience a oneness with the horse, and then you're out in all this marvelous creation. And you have to look at things and realize that God put it all together. He did it for us to enjoy, you know. I mean, God loves us. And the big thing is this allows you to slow down enough that you begin to realize these things.
We're off to Texaco corrals today.
Maybe we'll say a prayer before we ride off. God, we thank you for the pretty morning. Thanks for the good breakfast. We thank you for the good horses and riders and cattle we have. Please keep us safe today.
It's just such a gift that they have been able to share this lifestyle with anyone who's interested. Well, we have had just like the best time ever, so thank you so much for hosting us, and it's great to ride with you again.
You're welcome. Hope to do it again soon.
To join one of the Armstrongs cattle drives, check out their website, armstrongequine.com.